brand for car lovers across the land. For the love of cars, Uganda we roll. Uganda we roll. From dusty road to patrol. When the steam break down, helping every driver in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda. Pre-purchase checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games to play. Restore the past, drive into tomorrow. We bring the love, not just the horsepower. Is it a move or a TX5? We show you what's real, not just the hype. Stalin views and engine moves. We teach you more than just photos and tools from the basics up. Truck and key and car just stuff. Even you always is open. For the love of cars, you ain't seen nothing yet. Big learning, Bobby Pro. This is more than just machines. It's the love, the life, the team. Oh. For the love of cars, Uganda we roll. From dusty road to principal patrol. But you still break it down. Helping every driver in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good morning. Good morning, my people. How you doing? I hope your night was nice and that your morning is also as bright as the road is showing. Mwasuze mutya muri bulungi muyombya Mark the direct shot namuyiga Irene Stephen Moria Lucky Mose motion by Benji Marno yes Mpanga Godfrey Paul Sema VIP Nabari Mukamori. How are you? Yes. Good morning, Starch Events. What's Zotia? Amin about yesterday. Spiritual intuition, selling service. Yeah, so yesterday, Richard Wanga, good morning. K. Jovan, good morning. We were in a broadcast watching go liking. The moment you enter the broadcast like this, you start liking. Toyota, Nissan, Benzo, Mazda, we break it down, no propaganda. Every purpose gotta tell. Village right in city scale. We talk the truth, so that's the brand for car lovers across the land. For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll up. Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to principal patrol. Patrol. Helping every driver in the town. Oh. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars. Pre-purchase checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games to play. Restore the past, drive into tomorrow. We bring the love, no just the host. Yes, Nima, good morning. How are you? This steady. So guys, yesterday during the broadcast, we had Amanda. We had Amanda on the broadcast, and we were talking about what people can do with 10 million shillings. Now, during the broadcast, if you want to see what we talked about, you should go back and see the broadcast if you're not part of it. Now, during the broadcast, I happened to mention something that I realize might actually be very hard to comprehend. Why? Because we have a lot of content that is meant to make us believe that there is actually like a clear-cut method, there's a clear-cut roadmap to actually getting rich. Yeah, I happen to believe that being rich is actually getting rich is one of the easiest things that anyone can do. We have Ricky, good morning. All of us have been rich at one moment, at one point. A 2-year-old boy can be rich. Yeah, that's something that everyone has experienced, or everyone is going to experience at least once in their life. And I thought, let's talk more about it today. Hence, I thought of the title for today's broadcast, Rich buys the car, wealth buys the garage, so that we actually understand the difference between the two. Most of the times people say I want to be rich, but in actual sense what they mean is I want to be wealthy. Niambie, niambie. There's so many times when people say I want to be rich, they actually mean I want to be wealthy. Sichecho, we all want to be wealthy. Now, the thing is, do we actually know the difference? Wealthy, I personally, I think that being wealthy has a plan. It's something that tosobola kuchikola nga tokoze plan. Of course, there are people that have inherited wealth. They inherited wealth. But if you did not inherit wealth, being wealthy is harder than being rich. Someone can be rich by the end of this year, but it's very hard for someone to be wealthy by the end of this year. Now, I'm not a financial expert. This is just something I know, but because I think I know, and I think I know it the right way, you can always correct me, guys. Let's just share ideas today. It's important. Ono wachidabo kabino ba yavuze biki ekifo ky'okuviira abantu bayite mabega aliyo ambulance. Wachidabo kabino ambadde mabega a blocking traffic eri every side zeri ate nga mabega waliyo ambulance. People are disciplined. They actually moved out of the way for the ambulance. That's nice. That's really nice. So guys, let's first of all define these two concepts. Yeah, we're going to define being rich. We are then going to define being wealthy, so that we get because we got the difference. What's being rich? Most of you guys are rich. I want to actually think that all of you guys are rich. No one spends 3 GB in the morning as Simugagga. Bugagga. Ngataina sente. Oh, guys, being rich is okubeera ne sente. Being rich is okubeera ne sente. Being wealthy is okubeera omugagga. Huh? Being rich is okubeera ne sente. Why? The easiest way for us to define being rich is having a lot of money or a high income. That's being rich. Nti olina sente nyingi kati oba ofuna sente nyingi. Do you guys realize that most of you guys are rich? All of you guys here are rich. No one is spending 2 GB on data every morning. Yeah. For you to work on the suspension, you'll spend about 3 million. Ojikola ebituufu nga totetenkanyiza eyo kugikola eyo ojja kusanga habunfu, ojja kusanga sepulingi zakutuka, osanga ebibushi byonna nga birwadde, girabe bwetambula. I think you guys are not inside yaffe gye tuliko bwe giri. Aha, look at how it's standing. Girabe omupiira gwo maaso ogulaba gutunudde waago n'ogwemabega gutunudde waago, kati ne bagamba gikole. Hey. Anti baga nakula kigege nagigula license bali bagigula 16 nagigula 10 nesooka kuli million 3 mu suspension nga ate tonna mara kola byoyina kola. Gilbert Mpanga, good morning. Rashid Jagen. Let's define being rich. Now, being rich means having a lot of money or high income, and the nature of being rich is that it's short term or it's income dependent. Okubeera ne sente. A rich person can afford buying luxury items, going to vacations, and having an expensive lifestyle. That's literally something that all of us can afford. You can afford to eat out. You can afford to buy the latest cars. You can buy the latest iPhone. Yeah, you can buy the trendiest shoe. You get. So that's being rich. The risk of being rich is that if the income stops or if the money you're getting right now stops, your financial security may collapse. If, for example, you lose a job, or for example, you your business fails or it closes down, or for example, if we get a war in Kampala or in Uganda, or if, for example, the lockdown happens like it happened. Amina. So guys, you get what being rich means. Literally everyone is rich. Yeah, everyone is rich. Now let's talk about being wealthy so that we get the difference. Being wealthy means owning enough assets that generate sustainable income, often independent of active work. Okay, how many of us are wealthy? How many of us are wealthy? Wanje. How many of us are wealthy? Being wealthy means having enough assets. That means you have businesses, you have investments, you have properties, yeah, that can generate sustainable income even when you don't work. Whoa. I don't know where Tagari. Do you now realize that most of your friends are just rich? So the nature of being wealthy is that it's long term, it's stable, and that's where they measure wealth with net worth and the ability to maintain a lifestyle indefinitely. That if you start driving, you can drive the car you're driving now, whether you're broke or rich. No, yeah, exactly. Whether you're broke or rich, whether we have a war or not, whether the president changes or stays. You get, that's the meaning of wealth. And the issue is that being wealthy gives you security. You can live comfortably without relying on payment from someone. Yeah. And the focus when you're being rich is that you focus on cash flow and spending power. Yet the focus on being wealthy is you focus on assets and ownership and financial independence. Kakati baganda bange, how many of us are wealthy? And of course, guys, if you're not wealthy yet, you should not be feeling bad, because being wealthy is not something that happens overnight. You don't just wake up and become wealthy, but you can wake up in the morning and be rich by evening. That's why for me I was saying it's like being rich has no formula. No one can tell you that for you to be rich, do this. Maybe someone can teach you or can share with you tips on how to become wealthy, but it's very hard for someone to tell you how to be rich, because most of the people that got rich, they did not know they were getting rich as they were getting rich. They just woke up every morning and they were doing what they do best. And money found them there, luck found them there, and stuff like that. Musidi senyo kansokemba kubiro oluyimba. I woke up in a good mood. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good. Like I want the whole mood. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today. Feel like this guitar today. I make her smile, I make her laugh. I make her dance, I make her wine. Feel like getting down to me, God. Feel like touching down to me, God. I'll make you one, to make you one, to make you one, girl. I'll make you smile, I'll make you feel like that. After that, I'll take you to my place where we will play, or before we play. Yeah, feeling good. Jump. It's feeling good. morning, Richard, Aki Junior Sengoba, and Akiram. We're talking how the rich buy the cars and the wealthy buy the garage. Henry Modern Jews, good morning. The rich buy the cars, the wealthy buy the garage. That's what we're talking about today. And we're using that as a title, but we're talking about something that I mentioned yesterday, that there is no method to getting rich. You do what you do, and what you earn, and you make more money than you ever imagined. And then that means you become rich, because being rich means you have a lot of money. Yeah, being rich means you have a huge income. So, however, being wealthy means having lasting financial independence. I'll give you an example. Nanjini Starbucks say, the founder of Starbucks has lasting financial independence. He doesn't have to come in the morning to work at the pump to continue managing the lifestyle, but he has like 100 Starbucks in Uganda. Even if you got like 100,000 from each of those Starbucks, because 100,000 from 100,000 from 100 Starbucks, yeah, that means he's making 10 million a day. It means that dude can spend the day driving around his Starbucks just looking at them. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. So it's important for us to have the difference. So let's just look at these two examples to make it Uganda. Let's give it an example. Let's imagine a Ugandan businessman who makes 50 million per month from a popular bar, yeah, or a transport company. He makes that money as long as the bar survives, as long as his company survives. He will make 50 million per month. So he can drive the latest cars he wants. He can rent big houses in wherever he wants, Muyenga where, and he can spend as lavishly as he wants. But if the bar closes, or if the transport company closes or collapses, his lifestyle ends. Yeah? You get what I'm saying, guys? We are using the example of a man that has a transport company in Kampala. He makes 50 million a month, okay? He can do whatever he wants, rent the most luxurious houses, drive the most luxurious cars, go to the best restaurants in town. But if his company closes, yeah, his lifestyle has to end. He has to downshift. You guys have seen people. I've told you time and again, I'm one person that downshifts, especially with cars. If I realize that I cannot do something anymore, I sell the car, downgrade. Kati aunze mba mugagga siba mugagga mba nyina sente bwe zikendera nga noonya bwenziramu okuzifuna mba nyina sente okitegeera. So whatever you have is tied to the current income, yeah. So you can be rich but not necessarily secure. Let's give an example of being wealthy now. George Senkubuge, good morning. Grandma Charity, hi. Now, let's say someone quietly owns 20 rental units in Chari Wajara, and those rental units give him 25 million shillings per month. He has a farm in Mbarara, and that farm also generates milk and beef sales. He has some shares in a company in Kampala, like let's say he has shares in like Quality Chemicals. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Or he has shares in MTN, or he has some unit trusts, or he has some government bonds. So this person has things that bring in money whether he's there or not. He doesn't have to be at the farm in Barara. He doesn't have to be at the rental units. He doesn't even have to work in MTN if he has shares there. So without working, the rent, he gets rent from his units. He gets sales from a farm. He also gets dividends that keep coming in, or he gets interest. So his wealth is in assets that keep producing money. Oba wali, oba agenze ku kitanda, oba avuddeyo, sente ze zigenda sigala zijja.
So he can live comfortably for years to come and even pass on this wealth to his children. That's wealthy. We have not talked about him driving the latest cars. We have not talked about him renting in Muyenga, but he has these things. Ochinabi, do you know, I think literally every person that enters parliament, apartments. Why? They are trying to, or to build, to have buildings like this one, like a mall or something. What they are trying to do is they're trying to create wealth, something that will maintain their lifestyle way after they have come out of parliament, because that's also important. So guys, today is Money Smart Monday. I learn and I also share. As I'm sharing, I'm also learning. Like I get a wake-up call every morning when I share stuff with you. So as you guys learn, I'm also learning. So you guys know the difference. Rich kuba kubeera na sente. Wealthy kwe kubeera omugagga. Okitegeera, wealthy kwe kubeera omugagga. If you had a number of parking lots in town and these parking lots give you money, and let's say you own the real estate, you don't just own the brand that's on the real estate, but you own the real estate. So you have owned the real. Good morning, JK. Obulanyo. Come best VIP, good morning. So a rich Kampala business person or a rich person wherever has cash now, but then they risk tomorrow, and a wealthy person has listing independence and legacy. That's what we want. I want to be rich. I think they actually mean they want to be wealthy. Amina Stanley Chechirio. So the question is, because it's something I talked about yesterday, Amanda. I said network. Guys, I was saying before the network took us off. Someone yesterday said there is no rich person that will tell you how they got rich. And somehow we have been thinking that they have bad manners because they don't want to share. Personally, according to the literature I've been exposed to, and having talked to people that I know are rich, let's differentiate this. Being rich means having money. Being rich means having money. Being wealthy means being independent and having cash flow even when you're not working. Yeah. So having talked to a number of people, I'm close to a number of people that are not rich. Yeah. They are rich because they have money. Okay. And when I relate to some, I know about the rich cannot tell you how they got rich. I've also realized those people don't know how they got rich. They cannot give you a method because they also didn't follow a method. There are people who can tell you how they got rich. Whether it was planned is a different story. The thing is, JK, someone telling you and that it's a method you can follow, because that's what we all want. Like JK orabanga chirumira bwana gamba natunda pani nenva ku pani nenkola kino, only for you later to realize that Chirumira actually comes from a rich family and that all the rich people in town are his relatives. So if he was selling pancakes to get rich, was his entire family selling pancakes to get rich? And then you realize that the entire family actually owned a piece of real estate in Muyenga that they shared. You get Stanley, for a wish, would you recommend? No. I recommend, guys, I only recommend the tires that are written on the tag on your, I think it's on driver's side. Waluka tag Stanley akadi kurujira wogura wo ruji ku frame wao. Waluka tag akakulaga emipira joboteka ku moroka yo. If you want to get maximum fuel efficiency out of your car, maintain that tire size. Bonochu so mupira noteka ko either omunene oba omutono, you're going to affect your efficiency, or you'll affect the stability of the car. Amina official. What would you recommend as the best budget tire brand? Stanley, me now in Uganda, if I'm buying a new tire, I buy the cheapest. I'm telling you, you have to come and omupiira mugumu biki. Tires in Uganda work for maximum 3 years for people that drive in town, and for people that do long distances and drive every day, tires will do 2 years. They don't go beyond that. Whether you buy a budget tire or you buy an expensive tire, it can't go beyond 2 to 3 years. That's what it is. I heard Muhammad Kachika's story and how he saved his salary for 10 years because he had no black tax at all. I wish I had that. Exactly, JK. Katiolabai, Muhammad Kachika gives you his method, but his method doesn't work for you. You remember when he was telling people not to build homes before they stabilize their income? At that moment, he was telling people not to build homes and they were following his advice. What he hadn't told them yet was that he did not need to build a home because at all the places he worked, he had a house, and also that his father had built him a house to start with. So in a way, he was a planned kid. So everyone can tell you how they got rich, but they don't have a method. There is no clear-cut method for someone to get rich. However, there is a method for one to get wealthy. For example, Jeka Agamba, he invests about 50 million shillings in bonds per year. By the time he has invested in 3 years, ajja kuba bonds azijjamu million eziwera ana n'omusobyo per year. Kitegeeza he can maintain his bonds, can stay there. He can also be making 40 million per year without doing anything. By just sitting home, he'll be getting 40 million per year. Ochiraba JK, you have a method that you can actually follow to get wealthy. That is easier. Kutemera wali kajam kala kakanji na ngenda ita mu industry yanzi. Sigenda kwetikira bwoba oli wakutte. You see JK, getting rich is I think is only valid for on a case to case basis. No one has a method. So for me the question is getting rich, or is there a method? Can there be a plan for someone to get rich? Sometimes people become rich by chance or circumstance. By chance, by being in the right place at the right time, he gets 1 billion shillings and is rich. You remember, I don't know if Brian White's story is true or not, that he was adopted by, was it a German parent? When he was adopted by a German parent, was it French, German? And then the parent died, and then he inherited all that money that we saw him flashing around. Whether he's still rich, that's something that we don't know. So sometimes people become wealthy, rich by winning the lottery, by getting a one-time business boom. For example, you land a contract. About contractor, Jeka Agamba, his target is to make 7 million per month from his bonds and also concentrate on the stock market. You don't have the talent of trading in goods. I also think I don't have the talent of trading in goods. It was Italian. Huh? I don't know if that story is true. I hope it's true. Because if it's true, it's a clear example that one can actually get rich and fail to get wealthy. Kugamba iya muzeyi we yafa bwati nafuna sente najja nazirya n'abantu be leero batumale gayitayo kale katumale gayitayo te si wabi nnyo nti yakikuba muzeyi bwe yafa ne bamuwa sente ze n'agakangende Uganda azirire banna Uganda, and he did, and in a couple of years all the money was gone, and in a couple of years he was almost being arrested for sexual abuse. You get it? So being rich is actually something that no one can give you a method for. Kat JK, what you're doing is working on getting wealthy. You have clear mathematics that you can follow, and you say, for me to earn 7 million from my bonds per month, this is what I have to do. There is a method that you're following. In cases where people like get rich without intending, yeah, they didn't plan for it, but suddenly they have a lot of money. But because it's unplanned, it doesn't really last that long. You get. So let's talk about being wealthy. The thing that JK is working on. JK is trying to make sure that he makes 7 million from his bonds per month. That means he'll be making a minimum of 80 million per month without working. Now, JK, could you share the method that you're using to make sure that you make 7 million per month from your bonds? It would be a nice thing for people to know what you are doing, because that's, for you, I know that's a clear, there is a clear method that you're following. You're saying, if I save this per month, or if I save this per year, if I invest this much per month in my bonds, by the end of this period, I will be able to earn my 7 million. I'll be able to earn my 7 million per month. So if you don't mind, please share the math. I think we all have a thing or two to learn. Kari. So let's not talk about being wealthy without intending. Wealth is harder to get by accident. Obviously, we all know. Jeka is saying that he's investing 50 million bonds annually, plus all the interest that the invested money generates. That will be money I won't touch for the foreseeable future. 50 million in bonds per year. That means if you do this for 10 years, you will have 500 million in bonds. And 500 million will give you how much? Money market funds. JK, and you get 10%, 18%. So if for example you have 500 million in 10 years, that would mean you'll be getting 50 million annually from that money. So guys, we are talking about getting wealthy by accident. It's harder to get wealthy by accident, but it can still happen. People inherit, like Ngecha Brian White. Your bond gives you a net of 14.2%. That's nice. So Brian White inherited. For example, Omana Asoro inheriting a taka in Moyenga. You can inherit land in Moyenga, and that piece of land is like worth 1 billion shillings. You get, or you inherit a building in the center of town. You get, or your family passes down cattle which multiply over years. You get, over the years, the cattle gives birth to calves, and you get more. Or you get the old house you inherited in Kampala suddenly becomes prime real estate. You get. Jovan, you've had all the instances I've given you. You inherit land, you inherit money, you inherit bonds. For example, JK's child, JK bwava munsinga amaze okuteeka billion ye sente ku bonds. Omwana wa JK aba alina billion nga talina kyakoze aba mugagga. Ekitegeera. So the person in those cases did not plan to build wealth, but the assets themselves that they inherited made him wealthy. I do not need an emergency fund in my situation because I have an employment insurance that would pay me 90% of my salary for 2 years. Okay, that's something. So you literally can save most of your money. You can save most of your money because for 2 years you'll be having money. So the difference here is that when you're rich, you become unintentionally wealthy. And kale tugenze. Last Friday, I went to pick my kids from school, ne Twitter downtown, and then Urban was asking me, but Daddy, why do you like to pass here? There is a lot of jam, there is a lot of chaos. And then I also thought about it. Why do I like passing down here when I can pass the other places that are clearer? I found that every time when I pass downtown, I am reminded of the chaos that is going on in the world. I am also reminded of what people go through every morning or every evening. When you see what is happening in the world, you kind of get the reality check. Ofuna reality check nogamba kaseri kakako okalabye kako kamoro kako bannange kyokka babuseera kati oyinza omusanga agamba ayagala million nga 18. It's unique, obviously. It's unique. So nze no wanse no wanyumira okuyita because when mpitayo it humbles me a little more. It humbles me a little more. The consistency in maintaining that decision to save or invest in different portfolios. Honestly, motorcycles need to be removed from Kampala. Motorcycles are unhealthy. I find that most of the young people that die in Kampala or in Uganda do not die of HIV, do not die of hepatitis B, do not die of pneumonia. They die of border borders. And even those that die of pneumonia, they die of pneumonia because of border borders. So guys, richness can come and go. Wealth can't just go. If wealth goes, it means you have mishandled it. Because the method, the thing that JK wants to do of earning 7 million shillings per month from his bonds, kitegeza asobola okubeera e Kampala nga talina apartments z'abapangisa, nga talina dduuka, nenga yeeyagala bweyagazi. JK, that's a very good method. So JK, for you to earn 7 million per month from your bonds, how much will you need to have in your investment? Ojja kuba weetaaga kuba nga olinayo sente mmeka mu bonds so for you to make 7 million per month. Investment here ina kuba mmeka like base nga bwonoga nti nyetaaga okuba nga nyinayo million 2 for me to make this amount of money per month. Ojja kuba weetaaga kubaayo ne sente mmeka. I invest every month before I pay any of my bills. That's a decision I made, okay? Sajja we kuti olozo malaga muyisa. Mulwana kati ng'olwana n'oyo omusajja we kuti oyo ayinza okukuba ekikonde. Kati alina amaanyi mu mikono ne mu migulu. Akagambo migulu nakajje wali abaana bagambye. You see, you guys see the chaos that is down here. You know, chaos mujiraba. And there are people that benefit from this chaos every morning. Ababi, abasazi bensawo, they benefit from this chaos every morning. Abasirikale, for them they benefit from this chaos every morning. I actually made my calculations with a net pay of 12%, yeah, per annum. I need 700 to get 7 million per month. I, however, get more than 12% annually. Yes, that's a very good. That's muchitegede bagayi bange. Okusobola okufuna million 7 buli mwezi yetaaga million 7. Okubanga gye ziringa yazi investing mu bonds ze. What kind of investment do you invest every month before you pay any bills? JK waliwo ekibuuzo awo. So now, for me, as JK is answering, is there a formula that we can follow to either get rich or wealthy? I think literally each one has a bit of formula. You need a formula for each. But ono bamukubye ekyuma. Bali mumukuba kyuma. Efo ky'okuwa omusajja omutwalo olaazizza. Bali mu kukijjako. Bakikeezezzaako babadde bajjako kijje. Mwe bagayi, some of you guys temumanyi kibuga. Bw'ojjanga mu kibuga ne baba bakuba ekyuma nga wooli gaba omutwalo mu nfo kuba bw'otagaba omutwalo ogenda fulumya 5. Ekyo nkibayigiriza mmwe ng'abantu bange mubeere nga muli barabufu. Kamaloli ya watermelon. Kamaloli ya watermelon tuke tugende mu maaso ne broadcast yaffe. Nego myayo ogenda tandika okumpa ennyongeza. Okitegedde? Ogenda tandika okumpa ennyongeza. Ewamwe temunegotiatinga, mwino negotiatinga. Kale. So JK is saying invest in treasury bonds for the target, for that target. I invest 5 million every month for 10 months or a year. The other 2 months are for my family holidays of the year. Mutegede method. Mutegede method. Yeah. So anyway, guys, byonna being rich kind of has a bit of formula there. Now, the formulas differing because tukola ebintu byanjawulo. One, having a high income skill or a job like a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer like JK, an entertainer, an executive, that can get you a lot of income. Or getting into high risk ventures like gold, or just getting sudden gains. So those are some of the formulas of getting rich. Chovola ba Amanda yabadde abagamba eggulu. Buli muntu yali badde alwana nnyo n'afuna skill n'agi masteringa. Because if you master a skill, yeah, then you can start making a lot of money out of that skill. Or you can invest in high risk ventures. Ngabo whatever Abitex akwata milioni 5 n'aziteeka mu kivulu najja bilioni 1.5. Nti in like 4 months aba amaze okukola 100% of the money he had the previous 4 months. But that's a high risk venture. Okitegeera. That's a high risk venture. That's a high risk venture. Okitegeera ne wabawo n'oli afuna skill ey'amaanyi n'agamba I'm going to learn gwe yera umoldo nabane bwasibye omusipi. Nina abantu abamu kye bava bafa ne bagana linsibye omusipi kati oyo mukazi tasibye omusipi. It's just that you guys cannot see. Omusipi aguyisiza mu nkwawa. Okitegeera. Omusipi aguyisiza mu nkwawa taguyisiza wano waina kuguyisa. So guys, the formulas for getting rich is 1, master a skill and be the best at it and be very good at it and then start earning a lot of money out of it. Or 2, engage in high risk ventures. Okay, those are formulas. High risk ventures. Waliwo guy bamuyitani, this dude ye chairman Muni University, Jaffa bamuyita Jaffa Aita, that dude, the engineer. For him, he says he sold his house, invested in his company, his engineering company, and he has never looked back. The engineer company has helped him build his own house again. He built a headquarters. His company makes a lot of money now. He's regional, which take it, he has partners in Europe, and so he engaged in a high risk activity. Yatunde nyumba na ateka mu sente mu business ne kwatayo, which take it. So that's something. Now, getting wealthy is something that JK is doing. You earn, you save, you invest, you reinvest, you protect. And you look at your formula clear. Tell you coach, you first earn before you invest. Getting wealthy, you earn, you save, yeah, you invest. You reinvest, you protect your investment. And your method you're getting wealthy. Tewali yondala. Because even if you were you inherited stuff, getting wealthy would mean you inherit, which is earning. Okay? You earn, you save. you reinvest and then you protect what you have won.
Every night that I really feel you again deny. Give us a chance, you and I, you and I, you and I. Give us a chance, you and I, you and I, you and I. Nothing gonna last for long. Time does not wait. Okay, man.
So Arthur, please invite JK. JK tajja kujja. JK mumuleke. JK mumuveko. JK tajja kujja. Border borders should be replaced by small cars like Vitz, Paso. You think it's that easy? Lucky Mose, it's not. Guys, mungene munonye Alex Kakande. Munonye Alex Kakande. JK tajja bijja yo ne bamba muwa sente. After I invest my 100k with Unit Trust Zeno, but Mr. JK, you have my respect. Now, how about when I save 1 million in treasury bonds? What's the algebra? I got and manyawakuwa 10 about agambe 14% per year. There is no quick money in bonds. You have to keep investing and also reinvesting the coupons to get the snowball rolling. Once the snowball starts rolling, you'll see the 8th wonder of the world compounding. Yeah. Guys, kamba sibule. Yachikana mtano. So guys, byonna tubikola, I want us to always remember that getting rich is easier than getting wealthy. Getting rich is easier than getting wealthy. But also getting wealthy is not that hard if you are already rich. Nti omugagga ayina sente yasobola ofuuka omugagga. Okitegeera atayina sente asobola fuuka mugagga. Soke tulwane tusooke tufune ku sente, tuyoke tulwane okugaggawala. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I don't know if it makes sense. So kokole sente olyokogo kola obugagga. Because jeka akugambye asavinga $1,500,000 buli mwezi. Nga tannasasula kintu kyonna asooka nakwata 5 n'aziweerezaayo eri mu bond oba wherever he invests. Kitegeeza asoose kukwata kasente. Bw'akwata akasente nalyoka atandika okukola obugagga. Kyonna kye kiri. Tobuuka mutendera. Tobuuka ki? Tobuuka mutendera. I think that's the thing. Bw'olwana ennyo osooke okole obugagga nga tonnafuna ssente, embeera esobola okusalako ate ne kibeera kibi nnyo. For example, there's something that we normally ask ourselves. Nti Arthur, you know,